I'll never cease to be amazed by how observant some of you, my commenters, are. Actually my last video, I mentioned how I use glycol antifreeze in my hydronic heating system. They saw me pour some of my antifreeze into the reservoir there, and someone looked very closely at the label of the Cryotech formula antifreeze I've been using, which is Cryotech number 35253. And they said, "Hey Matt, did you know that stuff is pre-diluted? It's only 45% glycol. You shouldn't be adding more water to it on top of that." Well, guess what? I've been adding 40% water to this. I looked all over the label of this. I read the whole thing. Nowhere does it say that it is pre-diluted with water. Nowhere on it. I had to go online onto the Cryotech specs page on their website, and sure enough, it says it's only 45% antifreeze. So the coolant system I've been running in my Rixon hydronic heating system has been only like 20% antifreeze, or maybe even 15% antifreeze, and it has gotten cold, like -10. I'm willing to bet it may have actually frozen out there, and that's the reason I got an error code last time I started it up. Anyway, I'm gonna fix the situation today, or tonight I should say. First, I'm gonna go outside to see if any of my pipes out there are in fact frozen. That's terrible. And then I am parked at a Home Depot. I'm gonna go in there, get the good stuff, drain the system possibly tonight, and just replenish the whole thing. Make sure I got the mix right. A huge project. I'm so mad at Cryotech, but so thankful towards you guys. Whoever you were, I forget your name already. Thank you. Now it's time to go outside and assess the damage. So my furnace, this is kind of a creepy shot, isn't it? But my furnace sits outside right under up here. I'm gonna show you in a sec. I just wanna make sure the pipes haven't frozen at all. I feel like they should be solid, the ones that connect to the furnace. So let's go ahead and give it a squeeze. This is my Esperbacher right here. It gets up to 700 degrees. And this is the one that goes in. Now, that feels liquid to me. It does not feel frozen. I feel like it should be solid. This is the outflow here. This is also very plastic. I think that's not solid ice, thankfully. So back to the creepy angle, guys. Oh man, this is hilarious. I just don't want to crawl on the ice underneath my van, so I'm compromising here. But I'm gonna go into Home Depot, make sure I get some good antifreeze. I'm gonna drain this whole thing tonight and try to repair the situation. All right, let's go into Home Depot. At the Home Depot near me, they have this thing in the parking lot that just flashes blue lights. That's seemingly all it does. I can't identify any other purpose. It's not police. It has a commercial plate. It's some security company. This is it right here. They only have this one brand. Now this is it right here. Home Depot does not carry the better brand that this person online recommended. That has a higher concentration of antifreeze. But this should be good enough. What I need to do is just not dilute it this time. I'm picking up 2 gallons. I don't think I should have to drain my entire system. There's some math formula I can figure out. So I need to sit down and crunch some numbers before I drain anything. But for tonight, I'm just happy I have some good stuff. Now, I have a 1-gallon empty bucket that I will use for draining and for measuring. So there's an entire project that I'm not going to do tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. Tonight, I was thinking of driving to that Cabela's in Western Mass. I stayed there once a couple months ago. Had a good time. But I also need to get some more mail. And also, I want to get out of Boston tonight. I've been here a week. That's actually. I'm sick of it already. So let's get the show on the road. The only reason I'm not draining it tonight is because I didn't feel any ice down there. So I don't think the situation is that acute. I'd rather do it during the daylight. I also decided I am not going to Cabela's. I think that's what I said. That's the one in Hudson. I'm going to go all the way to Cracker Barrel, way out in Western Mass. In Holyoke, if I remember correctly. That's a couple hours of driving from here. Gonna get there after hours for sure. So I'm gonna fuel up on some coffee. Only my third of the day. Man, I just parked like a total dingus right there. I'm taking up like 4 spaces. I hope no one cares. I'm sure you YouTube commenters are gonna care and crack on me about that. But yeah, this is only my third coffee of the day, which is about enough that after this kicks in, I want to go to sleep like in 2 hours. I do this reverse kickback, which is fine because it should take me about 2 hours to get to Cracker Barrel. This has got to be the coziest rest stop McDonald's I've ever seen. It's almost like a living room. Yeah, I'm literally taking up 4 spaces. I wonder if someone left a note on my windshield. Someone would have been totally justified in leaving a note for me, but more interestingly, a state trooper is just going up and down this parking lot here, looking at all the cars. Another reason why I would not recommend sleeping in your vehicle at a rest stop in Massachusetts. They do get patrolled. This is one of the few states I would never sleep at a rest area. Here we go. I remember this. Cabela's, or not Cabela's, Cracker Barrel. I'll probably be calling this place Cabela's off and on all night. I got the two confused. But there are a spattering of cars here, even though the store closed technically an hour and a half ago. They want me to go to this lot back here, which is empty. Well, no, there's one car in the good spot where I wanted to be. There's 2 cars, so I won't be totally alone. I am parked in such a way that I can let light in through the windshield. It's so nice not to have to stealth up like I've been doing it in Boston at this Cabela's. Or not Cabela's, Cracker Barrel. Sorry. Yeah, I've been doing math, guys. I've been sitting here crunching numbers like well after midnight. I want to show you what math I've done here. I might throw some graphics up on the screen. I want to figure out exactly how much of my current hydronic loop is water right now. The first thing I wanted to do was find out the actual volume of my entire hydronic system. I looked up the specs on that Rixson reservoir. That's a 4.5 gallon reservoir. Now I estimate I have about 80 feet of PEX tube, 1/2 inch in diameter. Apparently that's 6.2 gallons. I looked it up. Yeah, that blows my mind. It's a 10.7 gallon system I have. I do remember emptying tons of buckets into it when I filled it up the first time, so I guess that makes sense. So, of that 10.7 gallons, I want to find how much of that is actual antifreeze. What's my percentage? So the 10.7 gallons, 4.3% of that, or 40% of that, is just straight water. I know because that's how I filled it up. That means 55% of the remaining 6.4 gallons in there is also water. That comes out to 7.8 gallons of water and 2.9 gallons of antifreeze in my entire system. 2.9 divided by 10.7 comes out to 27% antifreeze in my entire system. I want that to be like twice the ratio. So the next thing I want to figure out was if I replace it with those 2 new gallons of the 45% mixture into there, what could I bring that percentage up to? Like, what can I fix tonight? So if I took 2 gallons out of this system, drained it, I would have 8.7 gallons of the 27% mixture. That's 6.4 gallons of water and 2.3 gallons of antifreeze. Now I'm going to replace that with 1.1 gallons of water and 0.9 gallons of antifreeze. That means I will have a system with 3.2 gallons of antifreeze divided by 10.7 is 31% antifreeze. That's how much I can bring it up tomorrow. Better than the 27%, not by much. Actually, I looked up in that chart, and that's good down to like 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's if it's stagnant, totally exposed to that temperature. Most of my system is inside the van. It never gets freezing in here. So I'd imagine this is like actually more than enough, you know? In the 3 winters I've had this, I've never had that churning, partial frozen sound before, aside from that one night a few nights ago when it was -10. So I think that was an extreme scenario. Yeah, I'm gonna do all that replacement tomorrow. Try to order more concentrated stuff, but I can only do so much in a weekend. For now, I'm gonna go to sleep, try to get up early. I might even catch breakfast right here at this Cabela's, or whatever it is, Cracker Barrel. Looks like it snowed last night. It's snowing right now, actually. Yeah, I forgot how much of a winter wonderland it is out here in Western Mass. Now, Cracker Barrel opens in 2 minutes. I think I'm gonna go inside just to use the bathroom, maybe buy something. I remember the store being kind of cool. Cracker Barrel Old Country Store. I like this place. It's got a nice vibe. I looked at the menu, considered eating here, but they don't serve bagels, which is the only thing I eat, so it's a hard pass. I did buy something, some moisturizer, lavender and hemp. Not sure if that does anything, but I do need moisturizer. I felt guilty not patronizing the place. The highway, I-91, is right here, like a stone's throw away. So I'm gonna find a Dunks. I'm sure there's one nearby. Here we go. I'll let this guy go like this. So I think I've developed a plan of action for today. I know last night I said I was only going to drain 2 gallons from my system, replace it with 2 gallons of the 45% glycol stuff. I want to address that leak I spotted the other day, and the only real way to do that is to empty the entire system, you know, so I can unclamp the pipes and stuff, see what's going on. I do have a 5-gallon bucket. I will use that to catch everything. After I fix that leak, I'll refill it with the 45% glycol stuff. I'm also ordering online a 90% glycol mix. I can only find it online. Can't find anything in a store I can pick up today. Once I put that stuff in, that will bring my glycol level up to 55%, which should be able to handle anything New England can throw at me. So I have the math figured out. I have a plan of action. First, I need to get to my post office, though. Like I said, I got some cool YouTube-related stuff coming in. The sun wants to come out today so bad. I wish it would. I'm so sick of winter. I'm sure you guys are sick of me complaining about it, too. But I got my mail, so that's taken care of. Now I need to get to a big box lot, do the whole coolant drain situation. I want to get this whole thing resolved today. I wish I could get that high glycol content stuff and not have to order online. But that's the way things go nowadays. You have to order like everything online. Anyway, let's get this taken care of. I thought I'd give the old AutoZone one more try for that propylene glycol, the high concentrate stuff. They don't have it. All antifreeze is not the same. You guys need to know. There's ethylene glycol, which is the blue antifreeze they sell at gas stations and stuff. That stuff is highly poisonous. And then there's propylene glycol, which is what I use, which is non-toxic. It's often sold as a food additive. I use it because I have it going through a heat exchanger with my water system, and that might leak. I don't want any poison to mix in my water supply. But anyway, AutoZone does not have it. I just have to order it online. I did get myself a big funnel that I will need to put in the bucket to drain my system. I also got a cool new toy, a battery-powered air compressor. I have an air compressor in the back of my van. This one is portable. It says it goes up to 150 PSI. I find that hard to believe, but this might be a game changer if it works. Before I went gung-ho with my system flush, I wanted to find the source of that leak that I spotted a few days ago. I saw some moisture under there, This is one way for me to access my plumbing manifold. I can also get in through the garbage area. So I ran my finger over that liquid. It felt like water to me. It didn't have any viscosity. And I looked at all the plumbing down there. I did not see any leaks in the joints. Not sure what is causing that. It almost looked like it was coming from behind the plumbing manifold, which I have bolted to the forward wall. I'm wondering if it's condensation or there's some sort of leak on the other side that I don't see. It's hard for me to see behind the thing without taking it off, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to try sneaking this camera down there, see if that spots anything. You can see how I can kind of sneak my hands in through my garbage area here in case I need to reach it. So I did not see any leaks in any of these joints, which is just crazy to me. I'm not even sure that stuff leaking is the coolant. So I just wiped it up, and I think I'm just gonna have to monitor the situation, see if that arises again. Now, my water plumbing manifold sits in a big plastic basin underneath my mattress, so in case there were a catastrophic leak, that should contain everything. My hydronic heat manifold does not have a container like that. There were just too many tubes coming out of it. So I designed a little canal down there that's waterproofed and a lower elevation than anything else, my electronics, anything else on the floor. In theory, if I had a catastrophic leak, it should drain into that canal, which drains out the back door. But that's not good enough for me. I think in case something does happen, I'm gonna stuff the area down there with these rags. Someone gave them to me. These will just act as a natural buffer for absorbing a lot of the stuff before it, gets to my electronics or anything like that. Now it's time for the fun part, flushing this system out. I'm gonna drain everything into this 5-gallon bucket, but I only want to drain out 2 gallons. So I want to mark this into fifths first of all. I know halfway up is 2.5. I want to be pretty exact. This is 14 inches tall, relatively uniform in width. 14 divided by 5 is 2.8. So 2.8 times 2 is 5.6. I'm going to mark 5.6 inches up from the bottom. Put a little red dot there, and I'm just going to drain up to that little red dot. I thought I'd give you guys a little tour of how my plumbing for the hydronic heat works. So the glycol comes in through gravity fed through that reservoir into here, gets heated up nice and hot here, and then comes out this tube here. This tube goes to a dead end stud that I built here, and then returns and goes back up into the van. The reason I built this stud is because I wanted a future expansion project to run this to a heat exchanger, which grabs heat from the car engine and then comes back into here. So I could get hot water and warm floors without even having to run my furnace, basically for free just from driving. But that is a future project. For now, this drain is how I'm going to drain my system, and I have not turned it in probably a couple years. It looks pretty rusted. We'll find out together if it still works. All right, bucket is placed. Here goes nothing. I think I turn it in the direction of the flow. Oh, frick, yeah, this is gonna require 2 hands. Yes, the drain does still work, but everything has to be so complicated. I couldn't get it all to go in the bucket. I had to cut one of my gallons of water short. So what I'm doing, I'm filling this up, using the funnel, filling up the empty 1-gallon cryo stuff. I will have another 1 gallon of the 45, the new stuff, the good stuff. I will fill that up, and then that will give me another empty 1-gallon bucket. I'm gonna come back under here, empty another 1 gallon of the old stuff at the bottom of the drainage system, and then empty the second 1 gallon of the new stuff into the top. Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth, but it will bring my glycol percentage up to whatever I said last night in that video. I think 37%. And the 2 1-gallon Cryotech stuff of the garbage, like I said, I'm going to take it to a car shop over here. They can dispose of it for a small fee. So let's take the lid off here. There should be a ton of space filled up in there. A gallon's worth of room. And yeah, it does look pretty low. And look at that. Oh man, it worked perfectly. Great. Now just to drain that other gallon of the old stuff and throw in that last new bottle. And there we go. Now, for those of you wondering if I'm actually draining the stuff I just poured in, no, because it's not pressurized right now. It's being drained only through gravity. Only the lowest mass should be draining right now, and that reservoir is the highest mass. It should be the last thing to drain. This is all the stuff that was in the pipes, I think. I think my science is right on that, but I'm satisfied. Now all I have to do is pour that last gallon in and take these 2 buckets of this crappy 17% garbage that I made myself over that car shop, get rid of it once and for all, and I'll be content. 2 things I learned from this whole experience. 1, read the fine print on the antifreeze you're using. And 2, if you're going to build a hydronic system, make sure your drain has like clearance for a 5-gallon bucket underneath it. My space was so crammed under there. It was a prototype, but it more or less worked. I'm sure commenters are going to say I did everything wrong today and this isn't the way to do it. But you know, I work with the time and the resources I have. Right now, I'm going to go over to Walmart, get some supplies while I'm here. May as well. New selfie stick. Yes, I need one. Windshield washer fluid. I've been going through this like crazy. Water, always a good time. And pretzels. Yeah, I'm all stocked up for the time being. Now, it's worth noting that if you're going to do a hydronic system, which I recommend, a lot of people in the comments are saying, Matt, you should get a diesel heater. You should get a diesel heater. I have a diesel heater. I have the kind of S-bar that instead of heating up air, it heats up a fluid. It's the hydronic system. You can use the cheap, poisonous antifreeze from the gas station in it if you wanted to. I made it harder for myself by going for the more expensive propylene stuff. So I couldn't fix the whole situation tonight, but I was able to improve it, and I'm aware of it now, and I can keep fixing it in increments going forward. So I want to thank that user that pointed out the antifreeze comment to me in my last video. I owe you big time, man. Until then, I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'll have new adventures, I'm sure. I'm tired. Good night. Peace out.